I am standing by the window of my small apartment in Portland, Oregon, watching the drizzle paint streaks down the glass. My phone buzzes on the counter. Another message from an unknown number. I already know who it is before I even look. The text reads, "I know you are out there, Sean. We need to talk." 4 years. 4 years since I walked away, and she still has not given up. I remember the day I left without a word, leaving behind a shattered marriage and a woman who thought she could have it all. I do not regret it. Not for a second. Some bridges you burn for a reason. And some people do not deserve a second chance to explain. Before I take you back to where it all fell apart, I want to know, where are you watching from? Drop your city in the comments. If you have ever felt betrayed by someone you trusted completely, hit that like button and subscribe, because this story gets darker before it gets better. Now let me tell you about the day I discovered the truth and the moment I decided to disappear. I was 28 years old, working at a tech startup in Seattle. Life felt like it was finally coming together. My wife Amanda was 30, a marketing manager with long brown hair and green eyes that used to light up when she laughed. We had been married for 3 years. No kids yet, but we talked about it sometimes. We had plans, big plans. A house in the suburbs, maybe a golden retriever, weekend trips to the San Juan Islands. Our life together seemed perfect on the surface. Every Saturday morning we would drive out to the Cascade Mountains for a hike. She loved the trails near Snoqualmie Falls. We would pack sandwiches, thermoses of coffee, and spend hours just walking and talking. Friday nights were our cooking nights. We would try new recipes together, usually something Italian. She made a mean lasagna, and I was not bad with risotto. The Friday before everything fell apart, we made pasta carbonara. We sat on the couch afterward, watching some forgettable movie. Amanda rested her head on my shoulder, her hair smelling like the vanilla shampoo she always used. I remember thinking, this is it. This is what happiness feels like. I had no idea that in just a few days everything I thought I knew would crumble into dust. But looking back now, the cracks were already forming. I just refused to see them. It started about 2 months before the day my world ended. Small things at first. Amanda began working late, more often 3, sometimes 4 nights a week. When I asked about it, she would sigh and say the new marketing campaign was killing her. Deadlines, client meetings, team presentations. I believed her because I wanted to, because doubting her meant doubting everything. Her phone became a mystery. She started placing it face down on tables. When notifications would light up the screen, she would grab it quickly, angling it away from me. I noticed she changed her laptop password. When I mentioned needing to use her computer to check my email, once she said the battery was dead, even though it was plugged in. One evening, I called her office around 8 p.m. She had texted saying she would be home late. The phone rang and rang. No answer. Not even the receptionist. I told myself the office phone system probably shut down after hours. Reasonable explanation, right? She started keeping her distance physically, too. When I would reach for her hand, she would find a reason to pull away, needing to grab something. Answer a text. Adjust her jacket. Our conversations became shorter, more transactional. Did you pick up milk? What time is your meeting tomorrow? Can you take out the trash? I kept pushing the nagging feeling down. She is just stressed, I told myself. Work gets crazy sometimes. Marriage goes through phases. This is normal. But late at night, lying in bed while she slept beside me, I would stare at the ceiling and wonder why normal felt so much like losing her. One Tuesday evening, I decided to do something special. I made a reservation at her favorite waterfront restaurant, the one with the view of Elliott Bay, where we had our first anniversary dinner. I sent her a text that afternoon, surprise date night tonight. 7 p.m., dress nice. She did not reply for 3 hours. When she finally responded, my stomach dropped. Can we reschedule? Huge deadline tonight. I stared at my phone, feeling something twist inside my chest. I typed back, no problem. Tomorrow. Her response came quickly this time. This weekend is crazy too. Sorry, babe. I sat there on the couch, phone in hand, trying to process the rejection. I texted again. Is everything okay? You seem distant. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. Finally, I'm fine. Just exhausted. Love you. That night I made dinner anyway. Steak, roasted potatoes, Caesar salad. I set the table with candles, poured 2 glasses of red wine. At 9 p.m., I was still sitting there alone. The food cold, the candles burned halfway down. She came home at 11:15, looking tired but not exhausted. Not like someone who had been grinding through spreadsheets and presentations. When she saw the table gilt flashed across her face for just a second. I already ate at the office, she said softly. I am sorry. I did not know you were doing all this. I just nodded and started putting the food away. She went to bed without another word. I stayed up until 2 in the morning, sitting in the dark living room, that uncomfortable truth pressing against my ribs. Something was deeply wrong. I was not paranoid. I was not overreacting. I knew it in my bones. But I was not ready to face it. Not yet. So I kept pretending, kept hoping, kept telling myself tomorrow would be different. Tomorrow she would come back to me. Tomorrow we would fix whatever this was. Tomorrow never came. Saturday morning arrived with weak sunlight filtering through our bedroom curtains. Amanda stretched beside me and said she was going to the gym. She would be back before noon, she promised. She kissed my forehead, the first affectionate gesture in weeks, and left wearing her workout clothes gym bag over her shoulder. I should have been relieved. Instead, I felt hollowed out. An hour later, I was sitting at our kitchen table with my coffee when I realized my laptop was not charging. I had an important work email to send, something that could not wait until Monday. My computer was dead. Amanda's laptop sat on the desk in our small home office. She had left in a hurry. Maybe she forgot to lock it this time. I opened it and the screen lit up immediately. No password prompt. My heart started beating faster. I told myself I just needed to send one email. That was all. But when the browser opened, there was already a tab active, Facebook Messenger, and I saw it. A conversation with someone named Marcus. The most recent message sent late last night was incredible. Cannot wait to see you again. Time stopped. My hands started shaking. I knew I should close the laptop, walk away, pretend I never saw it. But I could not move. My eyes locked onto the screen and I started scrolling up. Message after message. Weeks and weeks of them. Months, actually. Marcus, thinking about you. When can I see you, Amanda, tonight? He has a late meeting. I can come by around 8, Marcus. I am counting the minutes. I kept scrolling, my chest tightening with every line. They talked about me, about how I suspected nothing, about how I was too trusting, too naive. She called me sweet. She called me kind. She called me oblivious. Marcus asked her once, "When are you going to tell him?" Amanda replied, "I do not know. I am not ready yet." He does not deserve this, but I cannot help how I feel about you. 5 times. They had been together at least 5 times in the past 2 months. The nights she said she was working late, she was at hotels with him. The Friday she canceled our date night, she was with him at some bar downtown. There were photos, selfies in his car, a picture of them holding hands across a candlelit table. I sat frozen, reading every word, seeing every image. My body felt numb. My mind could not process what I was seeing. This was my wife, the woman I had built a life with, the woman who promised to love me, to be faithful, to stand by me. And here was the proof that it was all a lie. The sound of keys in the front door snapped me back to reality. Amanda was home. I did not move. I sat there with her laptop on my lap, the conversation still open on the screen. The door swung open and she walked in smiling. "Hey, I am back. You hungry? I will make brunch." I looked up at her. She was glowing, energized. She had not been to the gym. I knew that now. She froze when she saw what was on the laptop screen. The color drained from her face. Sean, I can explain. My voice came out flat, emotionless. How long? She took a step closer, hands raised like she was approaching a wild animal. It is not what you think. How? Long. She started crying. 2 months. But it meant nothing. Nothing. I stood up, my voice rising. You told him I suspect nothing. You called me too trusting. Please just let me explain. There was nothing to explain. I could see it all laid out in black and white. Every lie, every betrayal, every moment she chose him over me, while I sat at home waiting for her, cooking her dinner, believing her excuses. I am done. She grabbed my arm. We can fix this, counseling, therapy, anything. I will end it with him right now. Please, Sean. Please. I pulled my arm away. There is nothing left to fix. I walked past her into our bedroom and closed the door. She stood outside sobbing, begging me to talk to her. I lay down on the bed, staring at the ceiling, and felt something shift inside me. Something cold and final. I was not going to fight for this. I was not going to sit through tearful apologies and empty promises. I was not going to watch her try to rebuild what she destroyed. I was done with all of it. With her, with this life, with Seattle. I was going to disappear. That night, while Amanda slept on the couch, I had locked the bedroom door. I lay awake planning. By the time the sun rose on Sunday, I knew exactly what I needed to do. Sunday morning, Amanda left the apartment. She said she needed to talk to a friend to get advice. I did not care where she went. The moment the door closed behind her, I started moving. First, I opened a new bank account at a different bank across town. I transferred half of our joint savings, exactly the amount I had contributed over the years. I was not stealing. I was taking what was mine. Then I emailed a divorce lawyer I found through a quick search. I explained my situation briefly and asked about the fastest way to end a marriage in Washington state. The reply came within 2 hours. I could file for divorce immediately. No need to see Amanda again if I did not want to. I called my company and told them I needed 2 weeks of emergency leave. Family crisis, I said. They did not ask questions. Monday, I went to work as usual. I acted normal, professional, focused. Amanda tried to talk to me that evening. I gave her short, cold responses. I am not ready to talk. I need space. Leave me alone. She cried. She pleaded. I did not care anymore. Monday night, I started packing. Not everything, just what mattered. Clothes, my personal laptop, important documents. Birth certificate, passport, driver's license. A few things with sentimental value: photos of my parents, the watch my grandfather left me, a leather journal my brother gave me years ago. I put everything into a large backpack and a duffel bag. Tuesday after work, I drove to a public parking garage 3 miles from our apartment. I loaded my bags into the trunk of my car and left them there. Amanda had no idea. Tuesday night, I acted normal. I said goodnight to her. She looked hopeful, like maybe I was softening. I was not. Wednesday morning at 4 a.m., I woke up. Amanda was asleep in the guest bedroom. She had been sleeping there since Saturday. I got dressed quietly, grabbed the last small bag of essentials, and walked through our apartment one final time. 3 years of memories. 3 years of thinking I knew what love was. Now it all felt like a museum of someone else's life. I did not belong here anymore. I walked into the kitchen and placed 3 things on the counter: my wedding ring, the house keys, and a handwritten note on a piece of torn notebook paper: do not look for me. We are done. The divorce papers will be sent by my lawyer. I left at 4:30 a.m. The streets were empty. The sky was still dark. I got in my car, drove to the parking garage, loaded my things, and pointed the car south. I did not have a plan beyond getting far away. I drove through Tacoma past Olympia and kept going. By the time the sun came up, I was crossing into Oregon. I ended up in San Diego. I do not know why. Maybe because it was as far from Seattle as I could imagine. Maybe because I needed to be somewhere warm, somewhere that did not remind me of rainy mornings and Amanda's vanilla shampoo. I found a small studio apartment in a quiet neighborhood. I paid 3 months' rent in cash up front. The landlord did not ask questions. I started looking for freelance work, software development, coding projects, anything remote. Within 2 weeks, I had enough income to survive. I changed my phone number. I deleted every social media account, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all gone. I kept my LinkedIn but hid my location and did not update anything. I did not contact any of our mutual friends from Seattle. I cut everyone off. Clean break, total disappearance. My lawyer sent the divorce papers to Amanda via certified mail. I did not ask for anything. Not the apartment, not furniture, not shared belongings. I just wanted it over. Fast and final. Amanda tried everything to reach me. She called my old number over and over until it was disconnected. She sent emails daily. I set up an automatic filter to send them straight to spam without reading them. She reached out to mutual friends asking if anyone had heard from me. I had already told those few people I still trusted that I needed space and asked them not to share my information with anyone. Most respected that. She even hired a private investigator. My lawyer told me about it. I was not worried. I had erased my digital footprint. I paid for things in cash. I worked remotely under my legal name, but did not broadcast my location anywhere. The investigator found nothing. 3 months after I left, the divorce was finalized. Amanda signed the papers. She did not have a choice. Washington State does not require both parties to agree if one person has abandoned the marriage. I was legally free. I started running every morning along the beach. I read books in the evenings. I worked during the day. My life became quiet, simple, predictable. No drama, no lies, no betrayal. Just me and the sound of waves and the feeling of starting over. For the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe. 4 years have passed since I walked out of that apartment in Seattle. I am 32 now, living in Portland, Oregon. I moved here 2 years ago, wanting a change of scenery but not ready to go back to the Pacific Northwest cold. Portland felt like a middle ground, rainy but different. New but familiar enough. I work as a senior software engineer for a small startup downtown. The team is great, young, energetic, passionate about what they build. Nobody knows about my past. Nobody asks. I am just Sean, the quiet guy who writes clean code and shows up on time. I have a 1-bedroom apartment overlooking the Willamette River. On clear days, I can see Mount Hood in the distance. I have a small circle of friends, people I met through hiking groups and cycling clubs. We grab beers on Friday nights, go on weekend trips to the coast, talk about normal things, work, sports, travel plans. Nobody knows I was married. Nobody knows I vanished. And I like it that way. I date casually. Nothing serious. I am not ready for serious, and I'm honest about that. Most women appreciate the transparency. A few have asked about my past relationships. I keep it vague. It did not work out. We wanted different things. I moved on. They do not push, and I do not volunteer more. I am different now, calmer, more careful. I do not trust easily anymore, but I am not bitter. I have learned to value peace over passion, stability over excitement. I know what red flags look like now. I know what my boundaries are. And I know that walking away is not weakness, it is self-preservation. But Amanda has not let go. In 4 years, she has tried to find me more times than I can count. The emails never stopped. I set up an automatic rule to delete anything from her address without me ever seeing it. She reached out to old friends, periodically asking if anyone had heard from me. Most people told her the truth. They had no idea where I was. A few told her to leave me alone. She hired private investigators twice. Both times they came up empty. I live a quiet life. I do not post online. I do not use my real name on social media. I pay my rent through automatic bank transfers. I exist, but only in the physical world. Digitally, I am a ghost. Last week, she found a new way to reach me. A text from an unknown number. Sean, I know it has been 4 years. I just want closure. Can we talk, please? I am sorry for everything. I read it once. Blocked the number. Deleted the message. I do not need to respond. I do not owe her anything. A few months ago, I ran into an old mutual friend from Seattle at a coffee shop here in Portland. Total coincidence. He recognized me before I could duck out. We chatted for a few minutes. He did not ask where I had been. He just said Amanda got divorced from Marcus after 8 months. She told me she made the biggest mistake of her life leaving you. I just nodded. That is her journey, not mine. He did not tell her he saw me. I appreciated that. People ask me sometimes, friends who sense there is a story I'm not telling, if I ever think about reaching out to her, giving her the closure she wants, letting her explain, forgiving her maybe. The truth is, I do not owe her that. She had 3 years of my love, my trust, my loyalty. She chose to throw it away for someone else. She made her choice. I made mine. Closure is not something someone else gives you. It is something you give yourself. And I gave it to myself the day I walked out that door. I found my peace not in confrontation, not in answers, but in distance. In building a life she has no part of. A life where I wake up every morning without wondering if I am being lied to. Where I can trust my own instincts. Where I do not have to pretend everything is fine when it is falling apart. Am I happy? Most days, yes. I have learned to trust myself again, to enjoy solitude, to be okay with walking away from things that hurt me. I am not the same person I was 4 years ago. That version of me believed love meant holding on no matter what. This version knows that sometimes love means letting go and never looking back. And if Amanda is reading this somehow, if she has found this story and recognized herself in it, I hope you find your peace too. I really do. But you will not find it by looking for me. That bridge burned 4 years ago, and I am not rebuilding it. I am not angry anymore. I am not hurt anymore. I am just done. I am sitting in my apartment right now, rain streaking down the window, a cup of coffee in my hand. My phone buzzes. Another message from an unknown number. I glance at it, recognize the pattern of her desperation. I do not even read it. I just press delete, set the phone down, and pick up the book I've been reading. Life goes on, peaceful, free, and without a single regret. So let me ask you, have you ever had to walk away from someone you loved because staying would have destroyed you? Have you ever chosen yourself over someone who broke your trust? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I would love to hear your stories. If this resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more real stories about life, love, and learning when to let go. Share this with someone who needs to hear that it is okay to walk away. And remember, you do not owe anyone who hurt you a second chance. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it helps someone out there find the courage to choose themselves. Stay strong, stay true, and never be afraid to walk away from what no longer serves you. Take care.